So guys, today we are going to develop one real-time, right, to library management systems, right? So mostly most of the features we are going to include, right, the example already I have developed, but the bad thing is that, right, I didn't get time to prepare the documentation, right? So what I'm going to do is, right, I will share this project itself to you all guys, right? So whatever the application I have developed, the source code itself along with the everything, right, I'm going to share so that you can do the practice. And meanwhile, I don't expect any documentation, right, for this session, right, as I have not prepared the documentation part. Is that clear?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So I will share the source
Yeah,
code.
pretty. That's
Let
pretty.
us,
The
yes,
document is always very good. Yeah,
right. So
pretty.
let us first have a look, right? What are the features and what are the applications I'm going to develop? As I have already developed, let us have a look. So basically, right, I'm going to develop one application, right, where right, first of all, I need to register category. So here you can see already whatever the categories, right? Library management system means what? Few things you need to understand. So what are the things? First of all, what are the different book categories, right? So book categorize. So within book categories, we will have different kind of a book. So each category can have one or more books. So we are going to have a users table. So where we will store the user information, right? So where we will store user data. Then what I need to do, I need to create one entity where I need to keep track the borrow information. I mean, what whoever the user borrow the book, what is the book he borrow, right? When he return the book. So those information also we need to keep track, right? So basically, this is going to be my book entity. So right, another one is a categorized entity. Another one is right what I can say user information, and another one is right borrow and or you can say return detail. So now let us try to observe. So this is my right what I can say categorize controller or you can say categorize user interface. So in this phase, whatever all categories of books are there, at least you will see. For example, if you want, you can add a new category. For example, here let assume I want to add a category called NoSQL. Right? Suppose any category NoSQL, NoSQL database. So any optional data, right? Informations you can provide here that is going to be the description. Do you want to make this category active? Yes. Click on this one. So once you click, then you will see that is going to be available in the list of categories options. You can also edit that category something like right NoSQL like MongoDB. Suppose I want to keep. So next you can click on the sections and you can see that is available. So in this space also, right, for example, if you are having more number of categories, then you can filter the category by name. For example, I want to filter the categories my database. So you can say I'm only getting the database category information. Then if you want to see, right here you can see I have shown you the details. So here if you want, you can delete the category. For example, if you go to this page, you can click on the delete button and this will delete that category from the database. Similarly, here you can see in one category how many books are available. So that list, if you want to see from this page, then you can click on this details button. So once you click on the details button, it will open the category details page where it will show you what is the category, I mean, what is the category name, what is the description, whether this current category is active or not, and how many books are there within this category. And here you can see the list of books that are available as part of this category. So from this page, right, you can manage. You can, if you want to edit this category, you can click on the edit button. If you click cancel, it will come to the index page. So this is all about managing the categories. Now, if you look at the users entity, right, for example, you develop this project for any organization or for any university college, right, for whatever. So definitely that college going to have some students, going to have some right teachers. They are going to be the user of the I mean, they are going to borrow the books from the library. So in that case, so whatever all users are there within the system, that is what I'm going to display here. So here you can say I have provided pagination. You can search right the first, previous, last, right whatever the search functionality I have given, you can check it here, right? So that is also it is working, right? So everything is working as expected now. So in this page, you can search the user by name, email, and the phone number. Anything is fine. Suppose you want to provide the mobile number, right? Based on the mobile number, it will filter the data. Similarly, right, if you want to filter the data by right, email ID. For example, this is one email ID. So it is also going to filter the data by email ID. So here you can filter the data by name, by email, by mobile number. And from this page, right, you can also edit the user information, right? Whatever the user information, that is what, if you want to edit, for example, I want to move this one, right? Suppose you want to update the address. So you can also do this thing. So that is the right what I can say, details edit page. If you want to see the details, right, then you can click on this details page. So in this details page, it is going to show you what is the user details. I mean name, email, phone number, date of birth, address, what is the status, how many books he borrowed, and how many books he returned. Currently, you can see the list is showing empty. So currently he doesn't borrow any book and no books has been returned. Now, so again, if you go back to this page, right? For example, I'm going to check this journey due. So currently you can see he currently borrowed three books and all the three books have been returned. So if any book has not been returned, then that list will be right shown here. And whatever books he returned, that list is going to be shown here. Right? Clear? This page is clear. Right? For example, right? If you want to delete a user, you can click on this one and you can click on delete button. So this is going to delete the user. So this is going to be our user page. If you want to add a new user, click on this one and here you can add that user information, right? So for example, I want to add this one. So you can add this one like this. Clear? So, okay, I want to make this user active. So click on the save changes button, right? So once you do this, so a new user going to be added. Now, if you want to search that user, you will see that user is being added. Clear? If you want to edit the information, you can edit that information, something like this, so whatever, right? And save changes, and you can see that the user information must be there. If you want to see the details, you can see no books has been currently borrowed. So this is going to be our right users landing page, or you can say home page. Now, if you go to the books page, I mean books list, it is going to show you the list of all available books. For example, someone come to your right, someone come and he asks that I want a particular book. Then you can search the book by title, book by author, book by ISBN code. You can also filter the data based on the programming. For example, I want to see the database related book. So you can select your database and whatever all database related books are available, it will show you. Here it is showing the what is the title, what is the author, what type of books is this category, how many quantities are available, right? Here it is showing the, what is the ISBN number, when this book was published, whether this is available or not. If there is no book available, it is going to display, right, not available. Here you can see the book details, edit, you can delete and you can borrow this book. For example, right, someone looks for the programming book, right? For example, this is my book's code and here I want to borrow this book. So you come to the librarian and ask that librarian, hey, Mr. Librarian, could you please give me this design button books of this author? Then the librarian will check whether this book is available, and yes, this book is available, so it will go to the borrow. So here he will click on this borrow button. So once he come to this page, right, it will show you the book details, whether the book is available or not, and all these things. Now whoever the user wants to borrow, so what exactly he is going to do? He is going to check whether that user is available or not. So one membership card will be provided. From the membership card, you will get some unique identifier, unique number, right? Let's assume that unique identifier here is going to be email ID or mobile number, right? So in this case, you can search the user by email ID. So we have added one user. So let's use this user ID, Pranay. So I just search and whether this user available or not. Yes, this user is available. And you will ask, right, when you want to return this book. I want to return this book by this date. If you want to change the date, that is also fine. For example, I want to return on this of, right, what I can say, 8 of 25. So now just click on this confirm book. So once you click on the confirm book, right, then you will see that design buttons book. Okay, let me search this one. So design buttons book, you can see earlier it was 20 stock quantity, but now it is reduced to 90. Now if you want to see this book has been taken by who, whether that book is returned or not. So that details, if you want to see, then you can click on this details button. So here you can see this book is available, and this status means whether it is active or inactive. Availability is going to be based on the number of quantities. And here you can see this book is taken by this user, and what is the due date, and whether this book is returned or not. And again, if you want the same book to be borrowed by someone else, you can also do this. For example, here I'm going to check this one, right? And I just confirm this book. Again, I want this book to be borrowed by someone else, right? Let's assume this is the user. He wants to also borrow the same book. So here he can search for this one and confirm this one. Now, if you go to this design button details page, then you will see that three users have borrowed this book, but none of them have returned this book. So now suppose you want to return the book, then how you are going to return the book? In this case, you can see that the borrow option is available, but for that purpose, right, to return that book, you have to click on this borrows collection. So in this phase, right, you will see whatever all books have been, right, what I can say, uh, borrowed but have not written. So here it is also that listing is going to be there. So now you can see there are these design button books currently, right, taken by three users. One is this one, and this one. Suppose one user come, right? Suppose let assume this is Pranay Raut come, and he wants to return that book. Then in that case, you will search by his name, email, and whatever, right? If you want to see how many books have been taken by this user, so you can see only one book. So now he wants to return this book. Okay, click on this return button. So once you click on this return button, he will check what is the borrow date, what is the due date. So are you returning this book after the due date or before the due date? So I'm returning before the due date. No, fine. After the date, yes, fine. So let assume I'm taking some fine amount here. And here that optional remarks, you can say return after the due date. Right? Any optional right message you can provide here, and click on the confirm return. So once you click on this confirm return, you can see the message is displayed here, and again it is going to show that this book is being returned. Return this book right now. If you go to this user collection, and if you see the right Pranay's details, then you will see that one book has been returned. So this book they have brought and they have already returned. Now, if you want to borrow another book, right? Let assume this clean code book. And again, I'm going to use this Pranay's email ID. Search this one and confirm. Another this book, let me right, go ahead and search this user and confirm. So currently Pranay has brought two books which he has not written. So now if you go to this page, then it will show you two books you have been taken, but you have not written, right? But whichever book you have written, that list is going to be displayed here. And total how many books you have borrowed? Three. And how many books you have written? One. Right. Similarly, if you go to the right books page, right, and if you go to this design buttons, then it will show you, right? So three users have taken this book, and this user, he has already returned this book. So this is how the right library management system is going to be work. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah, but Prana, what's status active? Book
Sorry,
status is active when it says book status active.
I'm not getting what you are asking.
What do you mean by active? If book status is active.
See, see, there are two things. One is active and another one is inactive. For example, one book you have added, and currently that book is not and you don't want to right provide or give that book to someone else, right, who visited to the library. Then what you need to do, you have to mark the book status. See, you just tell me what is the meaning of active and inactive.
No, no, I understand. I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean.
Active means that
Yes,
book is available for borrow, right? Anyone can
yeah,
take. Not
yeah.
active means that it's not available. And this
Available. What
availability
we
is
have it.
availability is a
Available is
different.
the yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
availability is basically, suppose that book is active, but currently there is no more stock available. So in that case, that inactive, right? Right. What I can say unavailable. For example, you can
Yeah.
say this programming book is only one piece available. Let me give this book to someone else, right? Let me this user wants to, okay. Let me search this time by email ID, and let me give this right book to this user. So once I give, you can see that not available. So current availability is what? Not available. And again, that borrow button is available here? Not, no. Why? Because this book is no longer available. The quantity is zero. Zero means you cannot borrow that. Clear? And if you go and return that book, for example, you go to the borrows collection, this book you want to return, and let assume I'm not taking any fine this time, and I just click on this return, and it just confirm this one. So here you can see that is written, and once it is written, then again if you go to the books collection, that head first Java, you can see that is again available.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
So sometimes it can be active but not available. And sometimes available but not active, inactive.
See, first of all, you have to remember, it means what? That book is available for borrow. Active means that book you can borrow. But is available means that is going to decide whether that stock is available or not
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Very
library.
clear. Thank you. Yeah,
If stock
thank
is
you.
not available, you cannot borrow. And once someone return the book, you can borrow. Clear?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if it
yeah,
is not
sure.
active, then you cannot borrow. Whether the stock is available or not available,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't matter.
it's clear.
You
It's
cannot
clear.
borrow that one. Clear?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Is this looks like a real-time library management system?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right? Here, what enhancement you need to do? You need to provide the login functionality. So admin user can only manage the site. Admin can log in and admin can do all these things. That is what I'm going to give you as a. So let us proceed and understand, how this application is going to be. So first of all, let's start with the models. See, in this case, so first of all, I'm going to create my category model. So here you can see very simple category ID, category name, description, is active, and books. So what is the relationship between category and books? It is one to many. One category can have multiple books. Clear? This entity is clear,
Yeah, sure.
right? Then the next entity is going to be books entity. So here you can see book ID, book title, author, ISBN number, published date, who is the publisher, how many quantities are available, how many number of pages for that in that book. This book is written in which language, any optional description about the book. This book belongs to which category, whether this book is available or not, and how many times, who are the users, they have taken this book. So this is the list of, this is my book entity. Clear?
Yeah,
Right. Then the next one is the user entity. Say here you can see user ID, full name, email and phone number. I'm making this email and phone number as a unique, so that that column value is going to be unique. So anytime if you want to filter the data based on the either name or email, you have to provide the full email and phone number, and you can easily figure out that employee, or you can say not employee, the student or teacher, whoever be. So what is the date of birth, address, is active, and how many books he has borrowed or she has borrowed, at least about borrowed books details, right? Next one is going to be borrow status, right? So here you can see borrow, return, lost, and overdue. So this borrow status we are going to use whenever the customer take the book. At the time the status is going to be borrow, and when it is returned, at that time it is going to be returned. So in that case, that status I'm going to use in this borrow record entity. So this record this table is going to store which book has been taken by which user, and when that book is going to be written by the user. If you are taking any additional rate charges like the late fee, or if you are providing some kind of a comment, so all these informations are going to be stored inside this table. So here you can see what is the book ID, what is the user ID who have taken this book. By default, the status is going to be borrowed. When you return, that is will become return. When the borrow date, what is the due date, and when you are returning that return date, and what is the remarks provided by the admin. If any fine, what I can say, if any fine you have taken, that fine amount, and for creating the what I can say, foreign key for user ID and book ID, I'm providing that reference table. Clear? Clear or not?
yep.
Okay, so this is going to be my models, right? These are the models that what I'm going to create. Next, what I need to do, I need to create my DB context. So here you can see I have provided books and DB context, borrow records, users, and categories. Four tables I'm going to create. Books will store the book information, category will store the categories information. Let me put this in a proper sequence. And this borrow record, right, user means it is going to store the user information, and the particular user, how many times he borrowed a book when he returned, that record details it is going to store inside this borrow records table. So then what I'm doing here, I'm providing my initial seed data. I'm creating few categories, category ID 1, category ID 2, category ID 3. I'm providing the category name. All these categories are right, active, and that optional description. I'm also creating few user. You can see user ID, full name, email, phone number, date of birth, address, and the is active. So this is what I have provided for few users. Then this is going to my book entity. So book ID, title, author, ISBN, published date, publisher, number of pages, language, description, quantity, category ID is active. See here, there is no is available property that will be calculated dynamically based on the quantity, right? If quantity is greater than zero, that book is available. If quantity is equals to zero, then that is not available. So like this, I have added few books. So here you can see the list of books that have been added. Clear? Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So once this is done, next what I need to do, I need to create my view models, right? View model means the model which are going to be used by the view, right? Let us start with this user view model. So user view model means this is the model which is basically used to manage the user data. So if you want to create a new user, if you want to update an existing user, right here, then in that case you can make use of this user view model. So it is taking user ID, full name, email, phone number, date of birth, address, and is active. So similar to our user entity. Then this is user list view model. So basically, if you look at the index page, okay, let me show you this thing practically so that you will get more clarity. See, so this is my user list page. So in this page, what information I'm showing? I'm showing a search bar, right, based on which I'm filtering the data. I'm showing the user details, and I'm having this pagination. So this is my user list of a user, right? Whatever the list of a user I'm going to display here, that is nothing but this list of a user collection. So here you can see this is going to my search term based on which I can filter the data. Here you can enter name, email, phone number, whatever. For example, I enter the name, mobile number. So I can get the data. So this is nothing but this search term, whatever I provided for the filtration. So that is what I'm going to store here. And then definitely as you are going to implement pagination, you need three things. What are the things? What is the page number? What is the page size? And what is the total number of pages? So that is nothing but here you can see the total number of pages, right? For example, currently one, two. So two pages are there. What is the page size? 4. And what is the current page number? That is 1. And when you click on the next button, the current page number becomes 2. So that what I'm going to store, and how many number, what is the page size, and what is the total pages, page number. These three things are required for the pagination. This entity is clear. Guys, give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. So this model is clear, guys?
Yep.
Yes or no? Okay. Now again, you can see that is my user view model, which I can use to create a new user. For example, I want to create a new user, or you can say if you want to update an existing user, right? So in that case, you can see full name, email, phone number, date of birth, address, status. So this information I'm taking using my user view model. Clear? This user ID you can see here that will be provided right through the hidden for field, right? So based on that user ID, it is going to update the data. Clear, guys? This view model is clear or not? What happened, guys?
Yes,
No,
sir.
no response means what? So we participate, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
now if you look at this detail space, right here, this is my user list. And from this page, right, if you click on this user details, it is showing the user detailed information. It is showing the currently borrowed books, and it is also showing the returned book. So for this purpose, what I'm going to do is user details view model. So in the user details view model, these are the basic information. And this is going to be the number of books he borrowed, number of books he already returned. So that information I'm storing here, right? Currently, he is not taking any books, so that is the reason why. Okay, let me go to this one and then search that user proname and see. So currently you can see, so totally he taken 3 books and he already returned 1 book. So 2 books he needs to return. So this is going to be the user details. And after user details, you can see this is the borrowed books. So in the borrowed books, right, what information I need to represent? I need to tell what is the book title, who is the book author, what is the borrow date, what is the due date, whether that book already written, and if written, not written, any fine amount, any remarks amount. So this information is required. So in this case, I'm returning all the information, right? I'm returning all the information using the single entity, same entity, borrow record info. So if you look at this borrow record info, so it is taking the borrow record ID. So this record ID is nothing but the unique identifier that is going to be stored in this table, right? If you look at this borrow record, so here, whenever you borrow a book, what is the book ID, user ID, and what is the borrow record? That unique identifier I'm storing here. So that unique identifier I'm taking. Then what is the borrow name? So in this case, right, borrow date, rate, due date, return date, status, remark, fine amount, book title, and the author name. Who take this book, when this book he take, what is the due date, when he return, what is the current status, whether it is returned or not, and what is the remark, fine amount, book title, right, and book author. So all this information I have taken. So in this case, how you can decide whether that book is returned or not? So in that case,
Return
if
date.
date is null, that means that book is not yet written. If that return date is there, that book is written. So based on that column, I can differentiate. If the return date is null, that I will store in the right current borrowed book section. If that return date is there, then I need to store that in the returned book section. Clear?
Where will you stop if it is null? Sorry, I didn't hear that. When return date is null.
If return date is null, that means that book has not yet written. So in that case, it will be displayed in the current borrowed book section. If it is null, if it is not null, then it is going to display here. Clear?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
If you look at this right borrowed section, see some of the return date is null. So null means what? That book is not yet written. If the book is not yet written, then what you need to do? What you need to display inside this section, currently borrowed book. If it is written, we need to display here. Clear?
Sure.
Right? And here, what is important? This return, whenever you click on this return button, it will call the return method, right? By taking this borrow right. So whatever the book you have not written, that ID will get. By taking that ID, it will call this return method. So for time being, so these are the 3 model, clear or not? User view model, user list view model, user details view model, and that what is that next one? Borrow recording. Clear?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. The return button. You said the return button. What does it do?
Sorry.
Return button. When you click the return button.
I'm not understanding right what you are asking. Could you please put your question in the chat window?
No, I said when you click the return button. Yeah.
So you
what
just
happens?
tell me. So you just tell me. Oh, I have already discussed this thing, right? Once you click on this return button, what exactly it means? It will go to the next step. It will go take you to the page where it will allow the admin that this book is written by the right customer. For example, if you click here, so it will take to this screen, and here it is saying that this book is going to be written.
Yeah, okay.
Right? This
No,
is
that's
the
okay.
book going to be written. Who is the user returning this book? This user. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Right now. Now what I need to do, I need to discuss the right book related entities, right? Okay, before that, let me go you the and explain you the category related entities. So this is my category listing page. So in this case, if you see, there is a category view model, which is basically going to create and update the view. And in this case, right, if you click on this one, this is the create view. If you click on this edit button, this is the edit view. For this purpose, it is making use of this category view model, category ID, name, description, and is active. Similarly, here you can see category list view, right, category list view model. So in the list page, right, in the list page, whatever the information I'm showing, that is the search category name, that category list information, and the pagination. So for this purpose, I'm using this is category, this is the search term, this is the page number, and this is the total pages, right? And here one more thing I need to make you understand, right? In the previous case, right, if you see here, this page size is not required because we are not taking the page size from the right user. That is what going to be decided by the system, what number of pages to be written. So that property you can remove, and I just removed, and it should work as expected. So here, search term, page number, and total number of page. Page size, that is going to be decided by the system internally. If you provide one drop down list or some kind of logic, like what we discussed in our right, I mean in one of our previous example. So you can also take that page number as a right parameter. But if you are not, sorry, page size as a parameter, if you do not take, that is also fine. Here the system will decide, right? Or you can say what is the page size that needs to be written per page. So this is going to be my category listing page. Is that clear? This page, for this page, I am going to make use of this view. Is that clear?
Sure, sure.
Right. Then again, in this case, you can see that edit we have discussed, create we have discussed, delete is there is nothing to be discussed here. It is simply taking the ID, and based on the ID, it is going to delete. But in this case, when you go to the details page, so what exactly it is showing? It is showing the category information and the list of books, and what is the current status, and what are the actions. These actions are nothing but some right button click. So for this purpose, what I'm going to make use of this category details view model. So this is going to my category details view model. So here, what is the category ID, description, status, number of books. So here is in a category ID, name, description. So here I'm not providing any particular property for number of books, but how I can calculate, that is nothing but the number of books collection I'm returning. Dot count will give me the number of books available, and then the number of books, whatever is there, that title, author, ISBN, published date, and all these things I'm displaying based on this book view model. And if you go to the book view model, then it will show you all the details of a particular book, right? So that list it is going to display here, right? So whatever the list of books you want to display, I mean, whatever the information about the book you want to display, for that purpose, I'm using this one. So this is taking all the information, whatever information you want to display, title, author, ISBN, published date, availability, other information if you want to display, right, number of stock available, right, when this book, right, number of pages, publisher, you can also display them here. Clear?
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
these are the category related books model. Now we need to discuss the books controller, right? So now if you look at this books controller, this is my listing page, and for creating a new book, I have to use this view model, book view model, which I just shown you, right? So if you look at the book view model, which I just shown you, so it is taking all the information, title, author, ISBN, published date, publisher, number of pages, language, description, quantity, each active, category ID, category name, and there is a drop down list for the category select list. So basically in this case, so I can take, I can provide all the informations, and here that category drop down list is there. So current, why that drop down list is not loading? Okay, let us try to observe why the drop down list is not loading. So in this case, right, okay, so go to the books controller, and in the books controller, let me, uh, that categories is there, and this categories I need to use as the data source for my drop down list. That is what we have provided. Why it is not working? The data source is provided. Okay. not working. Okay, so let me go to the edit view. Go to the create view. So here we have done the changes. This is my create view, edit view is working. Oh, this is index page. And model.category list. What is that property name? Book view model. Category select list. And then the books controller. Book list view model. There is the issue. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me fix this one. That is fine. Viewback.categories. Why I'm using this viewback.categories? So it should be the model. So which model I'm passing? That model should be variable. Right. Book. Okay. So now if you click on this one, so you again it is not working. Books create. So books controller create action method. Oh, my mistake. See, it is working now. Fine. So whatever the category, all this information you want to select, you can select and create a new book. And it should work for the red object also. Whatever the selected data, that is what it is going to display. Clear? Is that clear? So first of all, this is the
Yes.
book model, which is basically used for creating a new book. And this category select list collection is required. But why? Now, because I want to populate this drop-down list, right? And then if you look at this, this is going to my listing page. So for this purpose, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a book list view model. So similar to other, right? I mean, we can use a hot reload instead of a reload always. See, what do you mean by hot reload? Can you please elaborate? I don't right expect anything right to be on the chat window, right? Whatever your query, please unmute yourself and ask. What do you mean by reloaded in this case?
Yeah, actually, if you see on the top right, we have the red color fire button where you can see that is a hot reload functionality where we have to set up. So as soon as we do the save changes, it automatically update the compiler.
I'm not getting. So what do you mean by hot reloaded?
Hot reload is something like it will, let's say if we are running on the runtime and if we enable hot reload and when we click on this the red color fire button, right? Automatically the changes which you compile, it will automatically get it loaded in the refresh window. So you don't need to load the stop and load all the things
Yeah.
at a time.
Okay. Could you please tell me how we can enable that in our project?
uh, Go to the top. Yeah, there is some continue fire button is there, right? If you see, one second.
Just tell me the
Can you,
step. In the menus or in the solution, where
No.
exactly?
No, sir. Sir, just wrong. Click on the HTTPS. Build it, sir.
Hmm?
Click on the HTTPS. Click on
I
the.
mean, you need to run it, sir. And if your application is running and you are modifying something and you are just saving, so
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
what
just stop,
that I understood. That when we
you
do
need to
some
run. You need to run it, sir, first. So please
okay,
execute this.
first I need to run the application, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Then
Yeah. This
this
one.
is
Yeah.
what
This is hot.
right?
Hot
This
reload
one
on file save, you can also keep that.
hot reload on file save, right?
Yeah. So as soon as let's say if you do some changes, you can
Yeah, I
add one.
understand. So any changes I will do, automatically they are going to be reloaded, right? When we refresh the page, that is what I understood. Okay, fine. So in this case, right, you can see this is going to be my books listing page. So in the books listing page, these are my filter condition. The search by name, title, author, ISBN. This is going to my category drop down list, and this is the search button. So first of all, see this is the search term. That is what you can see here, and this is the selected whichever category ID you selected. Hold that value. I'm going to use this one, and for the drop down list, I'm going to make use of this categorized right. What I can say collection. Then, right, apart from this, you can see page number and the total pages. Definitely, that is required for the pagination. And after this, right, we need one view model for displaying the list of books. And that is what in this case, books view model. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. And then, right, and that is fine. Next one is what? Now we need to click on this edit. We have already discussed this thing. So when we click on the details page, so here you can see it is displaying the complete book details and the number of right borrow history, when the book is been taken, when it is written, right, who taken this book. So currently I'm showing only the name. If you want, you can include the right, what I can say, email ID, phone number, right, as per your requirement. What is the status, right, whether it is already borrowed, whether he returned this book or not, if he returned, when he returned, is there any fine we have taken, right? All this information you can write so if you want to display in this page. So for this purpose, what I'm doing here, you can see I have created this book details view model. So this is going to my book information, and then this is going to my borrow information. So this information I'm making use of the same view model, that borrow record info. So which I used in the other cases, right? I mean in the case of what I can say, somewhere else we have used this one also, right? Where in the users list, right? If you see this users, then also I'm using the same view model for displaying the right borrowed book information. That what I'm displaying in the right books. Clear? This is the same model. The same model what I'm showing the borrow history for a book. The same model I'm using, right, to show the borrow history of a particular user. Here I'm splitting that into two sections, but the same model I'm using. Which model? This is the model. Clear? Don't raise that hand and all this thing, right? Anytime, right? Because it is coming as a black screen on the screen, right? So anytime, whatever whoever wants to say anything, say something, please unmute yourself and directly, right, communicate. Because I don't believe on this chatting and all those all kind of things. It is always better to be communicate. If you want to say anything, please unmute yourself and communicate. That is best option, what I feel. So now what I need to do, it once you understand this thing, right, then we need to
Sir,
understand the
sir, one
right.
question.
Sorry.
If you go to that one question, you just go to
Yes.
that model. Uh, to the, number 6. I mean, with null.
Your voice is not clearly audible. Does
Uh,
his voice audible to all other people's?
Actually, I have one question actually in the home like can you please go to the window which you're showing in the UI. So let's say there are three view models right now.
For three view models for what?
Now we have a left hand side one model and current borrowed books on one model and return books
No.
model,
So
right?
these two are not two different models. So that is what I'm saying. So in this case, only one model is there. But based on the return date, we can decide whether that book is returned or not. If the return date is not null, that means that book is not returned. So that is what I'm showing here. If it is written, right, if it is not null, then in that case, right, I'm showing that that book is returned. If the return date is null, that is that book is not yet returned. So that is going to be displayed here. If return date is null, if not null, that is going to be displayed here. For these two, I'm using a single view model, and that view model is this one. So based on the return date, I can decide, right, whether that book needs to be displayed in this section or in that section. Clear?
Okay.
And this is right, the main model. That is a different model, and this is a different model. Clear, guys?
Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so on the statement number 6 or maybe 10, so after null, we are having that some negate sign. What is that used for, sir?
This means this property is a not nullable type. See, there are two ways. So what is the difference between a nullable type and non-nullable type? You just tell me. If I am putting this question mark here, what it means?
It
It
can have
means,
null value.
hey, by default, if I remove this one, is not this going to store some null value? It can
It will,
store.
yeah, since it's string, yeah.
So that new feature, what they provide us, if you want to make this column to store null value, then declare it using the null data type. I mean, using this null collection operator. So that will, once you put this one, that error warning is going to be gone. If you don't put this one, then it assume that this property is a non-nullable type. So if your intention, if you want to make sure this property should be a non-nullable type, then declare this property using this one. So this null not operator means what? So this is the not operator. Not operator means this column is not going to hold a null value. Clear? So this is just for our understanding purpose that this property is a not nullable type. So that is what I'm mentioning here. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Right. So next what I need to do, I need to discuss the borrow functionality. So in this case, you can see these are going to be my borrow records. And that borrow records I can show using this borrow view model. Right? Borrow records info is this one. This is my view model, borrow record info. And this borrow record info I need to use in the book list view model, right? Borrow list view model. So here you can see uh, borrow record list view model. So this is my view model. So this is my borrow record model view model. So borrow record view model, you can see all this information I want to display. What is the book information? What is the user details? And what is the borrow information? So all this information I want to display along with the user who have taken this book, when it is taken, right? That is the model. And this borrow record list means it is going to use that view model along with the other condition, that is the search term and the pagination information, page number and total pages. Borrow record we have discussed, right? That is going to be used in the page details page, user details page, to show who are the user and when they have taken the book, when they have written. Borrow record list view model, that is what we have discussed here. And right, and for this data, it is going to make use of right borrow record view model. Clear? Clear or not? Clear or not, guys? Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay. So once this is done, right, next what I need to do, I need to create the services, right? So we have discussed the models, we have discussed the data, we have discussed the right view models. Now we need to discuss the services. So basically here I'm going to deal with 4 services: I category, right category service, book service, user service, and right borrow service, right? So let us discuss this one by one. Category service. In the category service, you can say I'm going to have one method which is going to return me a tuple. So what is the use of a tuple? Can anybody tell me?
To return multiple values from a function.
Exactly.
Two
From a
values.
method, by default, as of now, we know that a method can return a single value. But with the tuple, you can return n number of values. So here you can see this is the method which is going to return me the list of categories and the total count. Why I need total count? Because for the pagination to show how many number of pages are there, that the total count is required. Get category with books async. So based on the category ID, so that category information and the associated books, right? For example, right here you can see if you go to the categories collection, right? So in the category collection, this is the right listing page. And inside this listing page, you can see I'm having this pagination and all this data. So that is what going to be written by this method. Now, if you want to see the categories by books, right? If you go to the details page, it is showing the category details along with the associated books. And for that purpose, I'm going to make use of this category with books, so async method. And get category by ID. For example, if you want to edit a particular category, right? You want to edit this. Then for that purpose, you need the category details first. Then only you can update the data. So for getting the category information, I'm going to make use of this one. To create a new category, right? For example, if you want to create a new category when the data is submitted, you can call this one. If you update the category information, you need to use this method. And for deleting the category, you need to use this one. Clear? Yes or no? Is that clear or not?
Yep.
Now come to the category services, right? So this is my category service implementation class. First of all, I'm preparing the query using as a queryable. Why am I using as a queryable? Because I want to apply some filter. What type of a filter? Search term. So whatever the filter I want to execute at the database end, right? So here I'm using this function like, so right, if you want to use some different approach, contents method is also there. But here, right, whatever the names that contains, for example, if you don't like this option, then you can make use of something like C stat C, right? What I can see dot name contents. So that what you can also pass, whatever the search term. So this is how you can pass. So that is fine. So here I'm preparing my query. And once the query is prepared, right, first of all, I need to calculate the count. So here it is going to return me it will execute this query in the database, but it is going to return me the number of elements, right? That is the integer count value, not the data, only the count. Then after this, once you got the count, then what I need to do? I need to fetch the data based on my page number and the page size. So and for that purpose, I'm appending this one order by, skip this one, take this one as no tracking and to list async. This to list async means it will execute the query in the database and it will return me the list of categories. Then
In the
whatever
link you code, so can you just I just want to know, like, this is a basic thing which everyone will ask, like whether we should use in the same order or we have to use it in different order.
sorry,
Order by, skip, take. These three things should be in a same order or can be in a different order.
you just tell me. So first of all, you have to sort the data. See, this order by it is the filter condition. So how you want to sort the data? After sorting the data, you need to return the data, or first of all you will return the data, then you will sort.
First we can take that and then we can do, is it also works because
See, that is what I'm asking you. What is your requirement? First of all, you want to filter the data, then you are going to sort, or first of all, you will sort the data, then you are going to apply the pagination. What is your requirement? Accordingly, you can put that. So that
okay.
right. Your requirement is first I will fetch the data, then only whatever the data is written, I'm going to sort. You can do
Mhm.
it, right? And so it is basically depend on your project requirement, right? What is your logic that what you can apply. So here I'm applying the filter, right, sorting first, then I'm going to take the data and skip the data and take the data. So once you have the data, you can prepare your category view model by specifying the ID name, description, and object, and you can return this list of categories plus the total count from this method. Clear? Right? And this is going to load the category details along with the associated books. This method is clear, guys? Yes or no?
Yep.
Okay. So this is category ID by async. So basically this is going to return me the category details. And right, if the category is not found null, if it is found, then right, it will convert that category into category view model. This is going to create a new category. So it will create an instance of a category. Then it will add that instance into the categories collection. And then right, once the category is created, you can append that newly generated category ID into this model and you can return that model. So this is going to update the category. So whatever the name description is active, you want to update that, what you can update. And this is going to delete the category. So these are the same, right? What I can say, fundamental method, right? There is nothing to be, right? Anything to be discussed, right? Is that clear? Any method you are not understanding out of these 5 methods? Guys, out of this 5, we have discussed this method. But apart from this, out of this 5 method, any method you need to be understand, or is that clear?
Well,
Okay. So once the category is done, right, then next what I need to do, I need to discuss the book service. So if you look at the iBook service interface, again the same logic, get all books, here returning the list of books and the total count. Book by ID, create book, update book, delete book. And here, along with this, it is also providing one method which is going to not only return the book's details, but also going to return the borrower information, whoever taken the book so far, right? So now go to the book service and implement this method. So this is my get all books. The logic is the same. Right, first to prepare the query, then check whether the search term is available or not. Because in this case, not only I'm searching the data by search term, right? If you look at this, so here two filter condition is there, search term and the category. If category ID is greater than 0, then also apply that into the filter condition. Then first of all, fetch the right number of right elements that satisfy, then execute the query and retrieve the actual data. So this is my get by ID method. This is my create book method. This is my update book method. This is my delete book method. And this is the book method which is going to not only return the book details, but also the borrower information. See how. So in this case, it is returning the book data, also either loading the category and the related borrowed information. And this borrower record is also having a relationship with the user. So why I'm using it then include here? Why not using the include method? Can anybody tell me? Why I'm using user method, not the right? I mean, why I'm using this then include, not the include method? Why? What is the reason behind this?
that include is the user is
Is
under
there
the
any
borrowed
direct
record.
relationship? Is there any
One
direct
direction.
relationship? Book and the
No,
user. If you go
no.
to the book entity, right? If you look at this book entity, so there is no direct relationship with the right user entity.
Yes,
But
indirect.
if you go to the right borrow records, right? If you go to the borrow records, then you will see there is a relationship with the user. So while I'm loading this borrow record, I also need to load the user details. So that is the reason why, as whenever there is no direct relationship between your main entity, then whichever entity having its relationship, just below that you have to write then include, not the include. If you write include, then you will get a compilation error, right? This user entity doesn't have any relationship with the right book entity. Clear? So if book is null, then I need to return null. Then if his book is not null, then what I need to do? I need to check how many books are being borrowed by borrowed date. So whichever date is last, that will come first, right? So here I'm using order by descending. Descending means the latest borrowed book information will come first. Then I'm preparing the data, whatever I want to return, and that right return I'm returning. If it is null, then I'm returning an empty string. So once my borrower info is ready, then I can prepare my books details view model. So book details view model, what information you want to store, you can fetch the data from the book model. You can store this borrow info into the borrow record. So which is going to return with the book details view model, which I'm going to show you right in the right what I can say book details page. Clear?
Yeah, we can also use generic here or not. You can use generic
What
in the
generic?
service. Generic method in the service.
I'm not get understanding what generic method you need to use.
For the CRUD operation in the services.
See, generic means what? Now, in the generic, how you can use generic? You just tell me. So what should we say? Is this method available everywhere?
No.
See, for the common
No, I mean for
functionality,
the common method. If there's a common
for
method, I mean
common you can
common
use, yes.
functionality.
Common
Yeah.
functionality you can use, right? But if the functionality is not related to common, right, then you cannot use. So in that case, you can go with a hybrid approach, right? So
Okay.
exactly, but in this case, right, this business service class, whatever I'm using, I'm including the data access logic. But you can create a separate layer for the data access. That what can be your repository pattern. You can implement, not an issue. And you know already, right, how to implement generic repository pattern, right?
Yeah, sure.
So next,
Yes.
what I'm going to discuss the right user service, right? Here you can see I'm getting all the user by count, get by user ID, create user, update user, delete user. And here one more method I'm using, get user by email or mobile number. So basically, based on the user ID or mobile number, you can fetch the data and get user details with the borrow history, right? And this method is not only going to retrieve the user details, but also going to retrieve the, right, what I can say, how many books he has borrowed and returned. Now you might have one question, sir, why you are creating this method? So in this method, only we are returning the user data. But in this case, we are not only using returning the user data, but also I'm returning the user history related to its right, activities with the library. In this case, this method is going to be used in the case of edit view, right? In the case of right, fetching the data and displaying in the edit view. But in that case, can I use this method? Yes, I can use this method. But why I'm not using? Because why I need to retrieve, right? For displaying only the right user information, why I need to load the user and the related books information? So unnecessary. So that is the reason why I'm using these two separate methods. One is only retrieving the user data. One is going to retrieve user plus the right borrow information. It's clear?
Yeah, solid principle.
Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this method. The logic is going to be same, right? First of all, we need to prepare the query, execute the query to get the count, then apply the query to retrieve the actual data. This is going to get the user by ID method. Only user data it is returning. I'm creating a new user, and here I'm updating an existing user, and here I'm deleting an existing user, and this user is going to get the data by email or mobile number. For example, if you look at this page, right, what I can say, uh, borrows, right? Suppose here you can see, you can enter the amount and right, what, not this one. So in this case, if you can see, this is clean code. So here I'm providing the email and mobile number. So from the jQuery, it is going to make an AJAX call, right? It is going to make an AJAX request to the server to fetch the right user detail. So for this purpose, right here, I can pass the email ID, it will work. If I pass the phone number, then also it is going to work. See, it is working. How it is possible? Because this field, it is going to check, right, right, whether this is a email ID or right phone number, and it is using null or operator. It is using or operator and comparing this data with both the email ID and phone number. Anyone is match, the data is going to be written. And here we are ensuring that this is going to be a unique value, right? If you look at the users table, then you will see that the email is going to be unique, phone number is going to be unique. So if you pass email or if you pass phone number, 100% I am sure only one data it is going to return. One record it is going to return. Why? Because that is going to be unique one. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Right? So this is the method which is going to return the data by username or email. And this is the method which is not only going to return the user information, but also it is going to return the right borrow record information. So here it is showing the count. Count, see, borrow record count means without applying any filter, how many records are there for that particular user, that is count. How many records have the return date, right? I mean that return status equals to null, or you can apply the return date is not null, right? That is going to be the return count. And once you have this, you can return this data to the client. So which is going to display this information in the right user details page. Clear? Clear or not?
Yep.
Next one is going to be my last controller service, that is going to my borrow service, right? So here you can see I'm taking one method which is going to return me the number of books and the total count. So this one is the number of number of books, total count, so which is required for the pagination. So here you can see source term, page number, page size, get borrowed record by ID, right? For example, whenever you are going to return a book, so in this case, you need to fetch the data based on the borrow record ID. So for that purpose, I am having this method, and these two method, right, is basically to whenever you are borrowing a book. For example, here you want to borrow this book. When you click on this button, so it will execute this method, which is going to add a new record into the database. And when you return, right, for example, here you can see in this way, you want to return this one. When you click on this confirm, then it will execute this method, and it is going to make sure that return date for that particular borrower is going to be set. So let us see the implementation. So here, this is the service. So the logic is going to be same. First of all, retrieve the data. Then I'm applying the search term. The search term, whatever I'm applying in the borrower's condition, you can see it will be applicable on the title, username, email, and phone number. So it can be title. Title means where this is available. The title is available in the book, right? Author is available in the book. Full name, email, and phone number, they are going to be available in the users table. So that dynamic query I'm applying. So this is search term means this is a generic search. It is going to check whatever the data you provided on all the 5 different columns. Then I'm getting the count, and then I'm fetching the actual data. So this is get record by ID. So based on the borrow records ID, I'm fetching the data. While I'm fetching the data, I'm also including the book information as well as the associated user information. And this makes sense. Why? Now in the book records table, you can see I'm creating two foreign key, which is going to link between book ID and user ID. So that associated book and user information, I can also load using this include method. This is nothing but eager loading. So borrow or read books assign means whenever you buy a book, then it is going to check whether this book is not null, and whatever the quantity that should be not than less than less than equals to 0. If the quantity is 0, you cannot borrow that book. So here what I'm doing on, if this is fine, then what I need to do, I need to reduce the book quantity by 1. So whatever the current existing quantity, that is need to be reduced by 1. Then I need to fetch the user details. If user details is not available, then also it is going to throw this error. So this reduced quantity, what I can do is, right, I can put it here, right? Because, right, if the user, right, what I can say, user is not available, then what is the meaning of setting that? That doesn't make any sense. First of all, validation, then only we need to reduce this one. And then I'm going to create an entry and adding that entry and calling the step changes method. The step changes method not only insert a record into the borrow record book, but also it is going to update the book quantity by 1. Whatever the logic we have written, that is a tracked entity. Tracked entity means if you change any value, then that for that purpose, it is going to execute the update statement. And this is a added entity. Added entity means for this entity, it is going to generate the insert statement when these two things are going to happen when you call the step changes method. Clear? Clear or not?
Yep.
Right. So this is the return borrow book async method. So in this method, right, first of all, we need to check whether this book, right, whatever the borrow record ID I'm passing, whether that exists or not. If it exists, and if the return date is not null, then only we can proceed. Otherwise, we can sit on that this book is already returned or not found. So if it exists and not returned, then you can set the return date, you can set the remarks, you can set the fine amount if any provided, and the status is going to return, and whatever the borrow record book here you retrieve, that the quantity, book quantity, you need to increase by 1, and then you need to call the substances method. Clear?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now we need to discuss the controller. So let us start with the category controller. So this is very simple. I have set the page size to 4. 4 elements it is going to display. This is my index action method. I'm calling this method. Preparing my model with the search category, right? Whatever the list of categories we retrieve, search term, page number, and total pages. Total pages is going to be whatever the total categories divided by, right, total number of categories by page size. So that will give me the total number of pages. Then this is my details action method, right? The details action method, it is going to return me the category with books. So if this is null, I need to return not found. If not null, then what I need to do, I need to prepare my view model. So whatever the category ID, name, description, whether active, and the associated books, that what I have prepared, and that model I need to pass to the view. Then this is going to create a new category. When the category is submitted, it is going to call this category service create async method to create the new category. Similarly, in the case of edit, I need to first retrieve the category information. I need to prepare my model object, right? View model object. That view model I need to pass to the view. And this is the post action method, which is going to update the category information. This is the delete action method, which is going to update the it is going to render the page. It will ask you to confirm whether you want to make this deletion permanently or not. And then once you click on the button, then it is going to delete that category from the database. Clear?
Yes.
Or
Yep.
no? Right? And the same thing I'm going to do with the other, right? For example, if you see, right, I'm not going with the, right, what I can say, code. So what I'm doing here, right, showing the overall objective. So index method, it is going to give you the list of, what I can say, users. Details method, it is going to give you the user details along with the associated borrowed books and returned books. This create method, two method, one is get, is going to render the view. Post method is going to process the view after the data is submitted. Edit method, it is going to display the right user information in an editable format. And the post method is going to update the data into the database. Delete method, it is going to render the page where it is going to write what I can say. It is going to give you a confirmation message that you are going to delete this record permanently. If you click on the button, yes button, then it is going to delete the data by calling this confirm. And this is the JSON method, which is going to be internally called, right? In this case, you can see the return type which is JSON. So from the jQuery, right, from the page using jQuery Ajax, whenever you provide a username, email or mobile number, right, this method is being called, it is going to return the data which I need to display in the UI. So this is going to my user controller. Any method you are not understanding, do I need to explain? Guys,
It's fine.
right. Next one is going to be my books controller. Again, the same concept, same logic, whatever we have discussed so far. So this is my listing page. This is my books details page. Book details page, it is going to show you not only the books details, but also the list of borrowed of that particular book, creating a new book, editing the existing book, deleting the book. That is the book controller. Then the next one is borrow controller. Here you can see, first of all, the borrow record. So this is going to display the list of borrow books. So this is the page. And then it is going to have two methods for borrow. I mean, if you want to borrow one book, for that purpose, it is going to show you these details where it will ask you, right, where you need to take the user information. And then once you click on the button, for example, if you want to understand this page, right, suppose this is the button. So this is the page that is going to be rendered by this method. And once you select a particular user, so when you select a particular user and you click on the search button, so in that case, it is going to make a request to the users controller. If you look at the users controller, this is searched by email async method. So it will make a request to this method by taking that email ID or mobile number, and that email ID and that method is going to return me the user details, and that user details I want to show here. So that user details shown here, and once you confirm this button, then this book information, this user information will be provided to this post action method. Clear?
Yes.
Or no? Right? And
Yep.
for example, I click on this one. So it will submitted that the book's clean code with author successfully borrowed by John Dio. So what is the book name? Clean code. Now if you select, then you will see John Dio, right? So recently John Dio borrowed this book. Clear? So this is the borrowed status. This is the return. Return means this book have already written. Not written means this book is not yet. Return date is not available means the status is going to be borrowed. So right, and once you return the book, for example, you want to return this book, right? So in that case, you have two options. You can go to this one. So you can click on this return button. This will take you to this page where it will ask you where you need to provide any key amount or write any remark you want to give. That is one option. Second option, for example, this John Deere takes the books. So here, if you look at this, so if you go to the user details page, whatever books he has already taken and not written button is going to be there. Once you click the same page, it is going to return. So this page, whatever the data it is showing, right, based on the record ID, and whenever you click on that red page, it is going to take the amount, remarks, user ID, and all these things. And that data it is captured using this view model, and it is going to update the data into the database. Clear? Clearer?
Yep.
Yes.
Right? So this is right how you can develop a library management system in your this is how you need to develop the application. Now, if someone asks you, right, if someone give you 1 day time, and if you will get the chance to develop a complete library management system, are you able to do this within 1 day, or it will take time?
Gotta practice it. That should be possible.
Right? So basically, you understand the overall flow of the application. If I'm not going to share this application code, and if I will give you the task to develop this kind of application in 2 days, 3 days of time, are you able to do this?
Maybe 3 days, 2 days.
Sorry,
2 days, sir.
2 days. See, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the source code of this application to you all. As a result or as a return, I expect you guys to develop some kind of block management system. Right? Block management system. I want you guys to develop by yourself. Right? For example, so that application I have already developed. So I want you guys to develop some kind of this application, block management system. So this is I'm just showing the landing page. All the complete application you need to develop by yourself. Clear?
Right, sir.
Right? So here you can see ASP.NET Core. So whatever all blocks are there related to ASP.NET Core, they will be appear. And on clicking on each block, that details page is going to be open. You need to provide the options to use CK editor. Have you ever guys anyone heard the word CK editor?
No.
Right? Suppose you want to take some kind of a rich text. How you can do this thing? Right? So because right, why I'm saying, see, whatever examples I will explain. But apart from this, if anything else will come into your picture, right, into your way, how you will do that? See, whatever example we are discussing, that is not final one. Not final one means apart from this many domain right project are there. If you got a chance to work on such project, right, then I will give you your input. You can take the reference of any website, right? You can take the reference of any website, right? Any block management system. Block management means any website, and just try to create the replica of such websites. Are you able to do this?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Just to give it a try, see what happens. Because see, till now we have discussed, right, whatever the concepts required. And the front end application, right? I don't mind if you use Angular, React, any kind of technology you want to use, that is fine. The backend things are important, right? Backend things is important means what? Now, how the data you are going to store, how the business logic you are going to write, how the validation logic you are going to write, what architecture pattern you are going to implement. Right? So that is important. And that is what I want to say. I'm not going to look at how full right your page looks like. So that is I don't care at all, because that is not the job of a developer. That is the job of a designer. If you are giving some good design, that is well and fine. But if you are going with a plain HTML text box without CSS, absolutely fine, no issue. What is important for us? The business logic, the business data, the validation logic, the data access logic, how do you structure the data, how you are going to manage the data in the database. That is important for me. So just give it a try, right? Develop one block management system similar to this one. So the way we have developed this project, in the same manner, try to develop the block management system. Completely different controller, different model, different view model, different services. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? And guys, next what I'm going to discuss is file handling. Right? The next important concept that what we are going to discuss is file handling, right? Because file handling is very, very important. So file handling means what are the things we need to discuss? We'll discuss many important things, right? So let me show you this thing.
What about the block management?
Sorry.
Block.
That is what I'm giving you as a task. I'm not going to develop that block management. That is a task.
But you have it already. We can do that.
Sorry.
But you have it already implemented.
I'm not getting what you are asking.
I say you have it already. You already implemented it. I saw it there.
Yeah, I have already implemented, but I'm not going to share the code. If I'm going to share everything, then what you will learn by yourself.
But blog is very important. Blog management, very important.
Yeah, important. But if you till now we have developed right library management system, we have developed e-commerce application, we have discussed developed right Gmail registration process, right? After all, right, as we have developed so many applications, till then if you are unable to develop a single application by yourself, then you have to think about yourself. Because see, I will provide the block management code to you. Suppose you want to
Okay.
develop one, right, a hotel management system. If you want to develop some right project for a insurance company, for some medical company, then what?
No, but what I mean is there'll be a difference, with the way you develop it. That is, if we
Right?
can give it a try, but the way you develop it will be different. That's what I mean.
So you should develop, na. So you should develop and you should share your code to me. I will check and I will give you my feedback. Right? So that is important. So in file handling, whatever the concept I'm going to discuss, how to import export files from Excel sheet. For example, you want to upload the data from an Excel sheet. You want to export data to an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet functionality we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss how to upload one image file, how to upload multiple image file at once, how you can restrict the image file type, how you can restrict the email file size. We are also going to discuss right how to generate PDF. Again, generating PDF using the HTML, generating PDF directly using the C# code. Again, I'm going to discuss right how to generate password protected PDF. For example, if you are getting your bank statement, if you are getting your salary slip, that is password protected. How you can generate such kind of a password protected PDF. Again, I'm going to discuss how to send right the attachment with email. For example, one right payment invoice is generated, you want to send that payment invoice to the email ID of a customer. So how you can send the email with the attachment. So these are the things that what we are going to discuss in our coming sessions. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this will
Oh, thank
definitely,
you.
right? Definitely this will give you a better, right? What I can say, experience. Okay? Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyone having any question? All right. Once the file handling is completed, then we will discuss the last piece, the important, very, very important piece, that is ASP.NET Core identity. Clear, guys? Anyone having any question?
If in any one of the example, you can show this pop-up extender.
Pop-up, right?
Yeah,
Modal pop-up. Right? We are talking about modal pop-up.
yeah, I am model pop-up.
I think we have already discussed at modal pop-up. Okay, so otherwise I'm going to develop one single page application. So modal pop-up basically mostly used in single page applications, right? So I'll develop one single page application and I'll show you how to perform the database crawl operation using a single page using modal pop-up. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
That is what I can do. Okay. Anyone else having any question, guys?
When was the next class, sir?
Next class, mostly Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Share this with video.
Pranay, can you
Are?
Video.
Pranay, I have one doubt.
Yes, please.
Can you go to that one controller page? Actually, you are using that validate anti-forgery token, right?
That is not required, right? In fact, this is not
No,
required.
actually,
That is already
no,
managed
actually,
by
I have
the system.
no, actually, I have one doubt on that in my current project.
So see, let me
So
give you.
actually,
It's basically used for the cross-site request forgery attack. If you want to
yes,
avoid
yes.
that cross-site request forgery
Mm.
attack, then you have to use validate anti-forgery token. That is already provided to us
Uh,
by default. Not need to decorate automatically any post method. There are right by default anti-forgery token is available.
no, my doubt is actually it is only for MVC applications or it can be used in Web API also.
Web API, this is not required. In Web API, do you have any kind of views?
No, actually, what happened is, yeah, actually, I know that when I Google it, it will be used in MVC application only. It have built-in support. So, but in my current project, one of my, I mean, I was recently onboarded in that project. That existing colleague has some vulnerability issues. So, what he did is, with the help of Copilot in Web API application, he used that for CSRF. So my doubt is it is not. I mean, we can use instead of that we can use that JWT. That is my assumption, my thought. But he's
First
trying
of
to
all,
implement. I mean,
see, so
no.
that for Web API, this is not required first of all, and not available. Why? Because in Web API, we don't know what kind of a client they are going to communicate. And in Web API, that communication is always going to be stateless. Right here we are using session and cookies. That is the reason why
Mm,
that red forger token is going to be generated by the form. So basically, what happening now whenever we are creating the form, right? So within the form, you can
mm,
see one form is tag we are using. So here it is already generating one red token. Token means what I can say that the way we are using right
mm,
our JWT token, one token is going to be generated for this particular form. And that token can only be acceptable only once when this form is submitted from this particular browser. If someone copy the HTML code, right, or you can say whatever the request you are sending, right, from the browser, if someone copy, and if they try to send that same
mm.
request from different browser or from Postman or from somewhere else, then at that time your server is going to consider this is a forgery request. But this scenario will not come in case of a web API. Right? In Web API, we are only going to validate the request via the JWT token. Right? Because in Web API, for example, some client going to consume from some other services, right? Server to server communication where there is no view. Then what is the use of that forgery token, right? Anti-forgery token attribute. In that case, there is no view, right? I mean, some server calls, right? Some C# code, they are consuming my services. That will not work. Na? If I decorate that method with the anti-forgery token attribute, that will not work.
Yeah,
I
actually, that is
But
only
Angular and React, using Angular and React to
actually
consume it.
no issue, right?
they are
Angular
using.
React, that is fine. So they have to provide the JWT token. For
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
anti-forgery token is not the way to validate the data, right? For us, what security measure we are going to implement? We are going to implement HMAC authentication. We are going to implement, right? What I can say, if you guys remember, in case of a HMAC, we have already discussed how to handle the reply attack. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, actually,
Yes,
this is one of the existing application. That's why I know that this is not a good thing, but just I want to confirm with you also once.
yeah, this is not possible, first of all, in Web API. Yes, in MVC that is possible. But in MVC, in ASP.NET MVC, you have to decorate with the anti-forgery token. But with the ASP.NET Core MVC, not required. Why? Because that is already provided to us by the form tag. Right? So by
Okay.
default, that anti-forgery token is available. And if you want to do a good programming practice, then what you need to do, you can decorate that with a validated anti-forgery token attribute. Clear?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Anyone else having any question? So two important things are remaining. One is file handling. 2 to 3 sessions I will take. And the last one important thing is ASP.NET Core identity. 12 to 15 sessions that will also require. Clear?
Okay. And then design pattern.
Yeah, design but not design pattern. Then I'm going to take one batch related to Angular.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Sure.
Yeah,
That's
Angular
good.
using Web API. Web API you have already learned. Then next you should learn right Angular so that you can become right. You will become a full
Full
stack
stack.
developer. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Many
Good.
members are right before few days only. I just put a message which one which right batch should take right which one should be the next batch, and most of the members they are interested for Angular. Right. So once this batch is completed, Angular will be going on in the evening. Morning time, that is going to be my microservices session, right? And once
Ah,
microservices
nice.
is completed, then right we can think about something else, right?
Design
Because I'm
pattern.
not design pattern SQL Server, because I'm not going to take any more new right ASP.NET Core batches. I'm completely fed up with this ASP.NET Core sessions because I'm taking these sessions from the last 3 years and discussing the same thing again and again. I'm getting also bored. So microservices, it's very interesting. And you all guys are attending the microservices session or not?
Yeah, sure.
Right? Because
Yes.
I'm developing the complete real-time application using microservices. All the members are joining, or anyone not yet joined. Anyone here who have not joined the microservices sessions?
I'm not joining. I'm joining for first day.
Okay, no. So you should join the microservices session because right, how the real-time applications being developed, that is what I'm going to discuss.
Okay, sir.
Right? So how you need to develop the project, right? User service, product service. In product service, this is a separate project. Inside this project, what is the use of API layer, application layer, domain layer, infrastructure layer, unit testing project, right? How the inter-service communication is going to be happening, right? Real-time, right? Things you need to learn.
Can you provide it for the video, previous?
So that is only for the right. That session is only for the paid members, right? Whoever enroll, they will get the videos and the documentations.
Okay.
Right? Not for everyone. So that is the microservices. And I think already, right, more than 100 members, they have attending the microservices session. 135 members. Right? That is important, right? Microservices is more important right nowadays, right? If you want to become a .NET developer, you should know what we mean by microservices. So here I'm going to implement Fluent validation. I'm going to implement the project, whatever I developed, this architecture, this is based on the clean and TTT architecture, right? How to use AutoMapper, how to use Fluent validations, right? How to use repository pattern. So everything is going to be there. Okay, anyone else having any question, guys? I will share this project right in the Telegram group, so you can download and you can check the source code. So because I don't get any time to prepare the documentation itself.
Feature. Document is very good. It was very good.
Documentation is very good, but I don't find any time for
Extraordinary good.
right. I don't find any time for preparing the document. Right. If you don't believe, right, let me show you this thing. So here you can see library management system. Right, not this one. This is the old one. So library management system. I don't find any time. So I just prepare the skeleton, but then I don't get any time, right, to complete these documentations.
But
Because there are,
for the other ones, you will. For the other one,
right?
I mean the other projects, you will get the documents for the other project, other ones.
Whatever you, okay. So I will share this project itself, right? Is there any problem, right? Do you need any documentation for this one? because the project is right. I'm going to provide the source code. So once you got the
No,
source
it's okay. It's okay.
code, right, you can make the project by yourself, right? And there is nothing. So you understand what are the different pages, what is the flow of the library management system, and once you have the source code, you can debug it, you can run it, and you can check it, right? And what one thing you need to do is just remove this migration file from the project, right? For example, just remove the migration file, right? So for example, here my database, just so in your case, make sure whatever the database name you provided,
Connection strengths and so on. Yes.
right? So what you need to do, go to the app settings.json file, change this connection string, and whatever the table name you database name you want to give, you give. And after then, what you need to do, you need to just generate the migration file. So currently, right, you can see today itself only I have developed this project. So just do this. That's it. So once you do this, your database setup is ready. You can start running the application and do the operations. Clear? This is the changes that what you need to do. And I hope you know all these things, right? Where to make the changes and how to generate the migration file, testing the application. Clear, guys?
Sure, sure.
Right? And one more thing, what I can tell you at this point of time, right? To this project, please try to integrate the login functionality. So create a separate table for the admin user, provide the login functionality, and based on the login functionality, if the information is fine, then the admin can log in and he can write to the operations, right? Yeah. That is what one thing is missing, and that is what I'm not giving that priority to that thing. Why? Because after few sessions only, after 2 to 3 sessions only, I'm going to discuss identity. In identity, I'm going to develop, right, completely membership management system. Everything you need to, right, integrating third-party applications like Google authentication, Microsoft authentications, integrating email functionality, SMS functionality, all these things we are going to discuss. Okay. Thank you. Anyone having any more question, guys?
Pranay, what about